This video will provide an overview of the Unit 1 Exploratory Research Essay assignment. Your task. In a 3 to 4 page essay, you will explore the research topic you chose by summarizing and evaluating a minimum of 2 sources. This exploratory research essay will introduce your topic, summarize and evaluate each of your 2 sources, and reflect on your research process and findings. So here are your learning objectives from the syllabus. You're going to locate, retrieve, and evaluate data from sources needed for effective research writing, and compose and revise research-based documents for a diverse audience and purposes. So your process. Well, you first have to have your topic approved by me, and then locate your credible sources for this issue, keeping in mind one article must be from a database, and the other one can be from a credible internet source or from a database. You've already completed the Unit 1 Exploratory Research Graphic Organizer Planner, and that was the progress checkpoint assignment as required. Please make sure you've gone to the grades section of D2L and reviewed the feedback on your planner. The purpose of me providing that feedback on your planner is so that you can write the best essay that you can, since this is a 150-point essay. Then you're going to write your APA style essay, keeping in mind APA style requires a title page. It requires a title page with specific information on it. It requires you to have in-text citations. It requires you to have matching reference entries. It requires certain font, margins, font sizes. So please make sure you have reviewed the expectations for what it is when we say APA format, because it is not just citations and references. It is a whole lot more than that. So your 3 to 4 page essay is going to introduce your debatable issue, summarize and evaluate the 2 articles, and reflect on your future goals. You want to make sure you review the rubric, because this essay is worth 150 points. And once you have gone through, written your essay, done some editing, used the editing tools in Microsoft Word, then you're going to submit your exploratory research essay to D2L. So this next section explains the structure and the content of the essay. So your introduction is going to be your first paragraph. This is where you're going to give me the basic explanation of your debatable topic: the who, what, when, where, why, how. Making sure you thoroughly explain why this issue is debatable and what different perspectives are on this issue. And the thesis statement for this type of informational paper is basically going to be your purpose in writing this essay. And if you're not sure what your purpose in writing this essay is, keep in mind it's stated over and over again. Explain the issue, summarize and evaluate sources. What is your future research? Okay, that key concept is repeated over and over again in all of these assignments. So that is your purpose. Now, keep in mind, this is not your argument. This is not the paper where you are picking a side. This is not a thesis where you are picking your side. This is just giving us the purpose, okay? So here's a sample. The purpose of this essay is to explore the issue of legalized gambling in casinos and the impact it can have on a community in both positive and negative ways by exploring 2 relevant sources on this topic. Beautiful. It gives us the topic and it gives us the purpose. So clearly the debatable question for this particular sample purpose statement is, what are the benefits and drawbacks of legalized gambling? Something along those lines. Because clearly I can see positive and negative, and I can see the topic of legalized gambling. So that's your first paragraph. Then you're going to have 4 paragraphs where you summarize and evaluate. So you're going to have 2 paragraphs on source 1. The first one where you summarize the key points of the article, all in your own words, making sure you have citations and transition words, and you have a proper first sentence of a summary, just like you did on the planner. And then the second paragraph about source 1 is going to be where you're discussing its relevance and identifying and evaluating its strengths and weaknesses. Then you'll repeat that same process for source 2. You'll first identify your source, summarize the key points, and then do a paragraph that evaluates source 2. So again, go back to the planner that you completed. All of this is already on your planner. Now you're just going to write it up in complete sentences in paragraph form. And then, of course, your conclusion. You're going to reflect on what you've gained, what you've learned, how are your sources valuable, and most importantly, what's next? What further research do you need to do? So where are we going? Because we're researching this topic all semester, so what's next? So the length of this paper needs to be 3 to 4 pages of content. When I say content, that does not, N-O-T, does not include the title page or reference page. So if I have 3 pages of content plus a title page plus a reference page, that's actually 5 full pages. However, when we talk about content, we're just talking about the actual body itself. Introduction, body, conclusion, not the title page, not the references page. Keep in mind, APA does require everything double-spaced. It does have font requirements. And then, of course, title page, headings, citations, references page. Your headings for this paper are going to be really simple. You never use introduction as a header. You just repeat the title. And instead of body, I would just do like summary of source 1, evaluation of source 1, summary of source 2, evaluation of source 2, conclusion. So you can literally just take what you're doing in each of these 4 paragraphs and make that your header. So again, I would say summary of source 1, evaluation of source 1, summary of source 2, evaluation of source 2, conclusion, and then of course the introduction is always the title. The header for the introduction is always the title. Please use third-person point of view when you are summarizing, when you are evaluating. Summaries should never, ever, ever be written in the first person because you are really just telling us what the author said. So that has to be the third-person point of view. When you're doing your evaluation paragraphs, maybe you'll have some first person, maybe your evaluation is third person. Your conclusion is probably going to be first person because you're talking about where you need to go next and what you learned. So clearly first person is probably appropriate in the conclusion, but definitely only third person in the summary and first person in the conclusion. The rest of it, the intro, the evaluation, it's going to kind of just depend how you write your sentences. What you should never, ever, ever do is the second person you. You is a direct address to the audience, and at no point in this essay should you be directly addressing the audience. You are discussing what your article said, you're discussing the strengths and weaknesses, and you're discussing where you need to go next. So that is why third and first person are appropriate, second person is not. So don't be tempted by the YOU or the your or yourself or yours. None of that, none of that, none of that. Inappropriate. So that is the basic overview of the essay for Unit 1. And again, please make sure you have looked at your grades in D2L, okay? Because I am providing you with very specific feedback on this planner before you write your essay. So, I mean, you can kind of start drafting your essay, but then once that grade is posted, you need to go back and look at the comments on this planner. Because if you're missing something, I'm going to make a note of it. If your citations are incorrect, I'm going to make a note of it. If you need more textual evidence, I'm going to make a note of it. If you need more evaluation, I'm going to make a note of that. All of that feedback will be on this progress checkpoint planner step. So that way, when it comes time to write the essay itself, you can write the best possible essay you can. So please make sure you reach out to me if you have any questions, and I can't wait to read. See ya.